listen! Hey, listen!
Hey y'all, it's Keisha. Welcome to A Healer's Guide to Heroic Yorsahj. This is an incredibly fun fight to work through. Emphasis on the work part though. Half of the attempts are spent figuring out how to heal purple ooze without killing your entire raid, and the other half is attempting to kill extra ad waves during the next green phase. While this may be a pretty rough encounter at first, after a few days of learning the combinations, it simply becomes a matter of execution. The fight is incredibly fluid, as there is no set pattern. Therefore, I will take you through each ooze and what its implications are, killing combinations that we use to down the boss, as well as some healer setups and tricks that we found to be useful. First off, Yor'sahj is typically a 6 heal fight. It has been 5 healed before, but we completed it with 6 with a little issue. The emphasis with healing should be damage reduction rather than healing throughput, since oozes like blue and purple severely limit the HPS that you can put out. Ideal combinations would be similar to what we ran with. 2 Holy Pallies, 1 Holy Priest, 1 Disc Priest, 1 Resto Druid, and 1 Resto Shaman. Holy Pallies are essential to the fight, so make sure that you have at least 1, if not 2. I would almost go so far as to see if a spare Ret Pally can go Holy just for this fight, depending on gear. I prefer a Holy and a Disc Priest, as opposed to 2 Discs, simply because there are AoE intense phases where a powerful hymn on low cooldown, as well as Lightwell, does wonders when paired with Trank. Depending on your tanks, you might need 2 to 3 external cooldowns for them. They both get wrecked at the same time. Stacks will build, they will swap, but the stacked tank still gets hurt from the stacks, all the time. For this, we use Guardian Spirit, Pain Suppression, and Spirit Link. It seems really wonky to use Spirit Link as a tank cooldown, but we used it on our first Hagara kill since our tank messed up and needed a quick extra CD, and it worked pretty well. Still not ideal though. It is very important for your tanks to use their CDs well. The fight is all about cooldowns. This means ret sacks, etc. Our Pally tank even used bubble when oozes came out, and he stopped hitting them. He would bubble to prevent the sacks from killing him. Raid walls from taking 4 pieces should be used whenever the tank needs them, but preferably when the raid does as well, which is pretty much every phase, by the way. Alright, so there's the basic rundown for the fight. Those things are always the same and never change no matter the phase. I spaced my healers out so that they each have 1 group to be responsible for. This is mainly for the purple mechanic, but we adhere to it for most of the other phases as well, except for the tank heals. The person that gets group 2 also will watch the 3 other people in group 1, since they're both melee groups, and in a lot of the phases, melee don't get wailed on as much as the others. In every phase but purple, healers need to be helping out the tank healers as much as possible, since they will get smashed in the face. Now we have the oozes. Green ooze essentially means that you spread out 5 shards from other people. We found that we had to assign range groups to markers in order to have range on everyone and not have healers running around dodging through people to get to the group member to heal them. In red ooze, everyone must stand directly on top of each other. Target a rogue or other melee and just stand on them. The tighter the stack, the less damage red puts out, and therefore the less crying we healers have to do. For the black ooze, he will summon ads that DPS have to AoE. They will focus on people who will get hit pretty hard by them, so definitely focus on those. Mages tend to be squishy, but also pull a lot of initial aggro, so when they spawn, be ready to heal them up super fast. Right before most of the oozes get absorbed, I hit Shard or some other haste trinket and rejuve my group and tanks and Swiftmend. For yellow, this makes everything happen twice. For black, this means 2 ad groups spawn. This was the most difficult phase since the second wave goes through to the new ooze spawn, and so DPS is caught between finishing the ads and making sure that the ooze dies. Unfortunately, unlike other combinations, healers won't be able to help as much with DPS since the ads hit so hard and we're going to be trying to keep up with healing. The blue ooze simply just drains your mana once it is absorbed by Yor'sahj. Once you are at 0% mana, you need to use all the cooldowns you have, Vate, Tide, hymns from all the priests including Shadow, and the biggest thing here is being careful that you don't have all your healers channeling hymns during an intensive healing section, so it needs to be called out. Something like, "Hymning, can you watch group 3?" etc. However, you should only have 1 person assigned to be that backup healer for those situations, because if it's purple phase, you might get 5 stacks really fast and blow everyone up, because everyone's trying to heal the same person. And then we have purple ooze. Purple is what makes this fight so much fun. Never mind the mana drain or the red, all the damage everywhere, it's purple phase. First off, just assume that everything that you do will give a sack of deep corruption. Just assume it. Once a person hits 5 stacks of Deep Corruption, they will deal damage to everyone around them. This is pretty much Raid Wiper. This is why assigning healers to groups is very important. It lets us control the amount of stacks. In my kill video, which was actually our second kill by the way, I had to let my guys get to 4 stacks a few times since the damage was so intense. The best thing that you can do is get the most bang for your buck. If it is red or green phase and everyone takes damage at basically the same time, rejuvenation is key. You should generally keep it up, just cause though. Nature Swiftness plus Healing Touch Glyph is amazing. Sometimes you will have to regrowth for the speed, but try to use Healing Touch whenever possible. This means understanding when damage goes out in green, or just constantly winding up a heal during black. And here's why paladins are so key in this fight. For purple, they can beacon the tank that they are assigned to heal, and heal a hunter or lock pet, and thus not give any stacks directly to the tanks. It seems so simple, but it's very effective. Do not trank or him during purple. Ever. Ever. AoE ground heals are also a no-no, unless they go out before the ooze is absorbed. Spirit Link or Healing Totem will not cost stacks. Assume everything else does. Health stones and DPS abilities to heal will not cause those stacks. There are many threads on the forums that list what does and doesn't cost stacks. But really, just assume that everything does when you're going into the fight. DPS personal cooldowns for damage reductions are very important. The end. That's all. The order of oozes to kill is kind of complicated, but essentially you will always kill green when there's a red or black, never kill blue or purple, and always try to kill yellow. Always. Yellow is like the snake in the grass. No one really thinks about how dangerous it is until it pops up and bites you in the butt. The roughest combination will be the red, black, and purple, since there will be lots of continuous damage from the red, as well as the add damage from the black. Make sure that you have as many raid cooldowns as possible, tank 4 pieces, Spirit Link, Barrier, etc. Do use your hymns during red and black phases preferably, but without purple of course. We also had a very rough time with the yellow-black combinations since the 2 adds spawn really hurt healer mana, and it's worse if you just had a blue ooze. One last thing to note, and then I'll be done. There will be some downtime during the fight when DPS are killing an ooze and tanks don't get hit. Use this time to DPS either the ooze, the mana void, or the boss. Every little bit counts in a boss with a hardened rage, especially if there's already a mana void up and you have a blue ooze. You know you will get all that mana back, so spend it on some damage on the boss. DPS should keep the void dotted, but sometimes I found it necessary to DPS it. Be sure to watch my kill video. You will understand more when you see me throwing Wraths and Moonfires at certain times. I hope this guide helps. It's definitely a long one, and good luck to you on your attempts of Heroic Yorsahj.